Now I promise, these 4 tips will make you a better Street Fighter 6 player. Alright, the reason I love these 4 tips is because you can implement them into your game at any level. Whether you're a beginner or you're grinding master rank, you're gonna find some value here, so I hope it helps you. If you like these videos, like and subscribe. If you don't like them, also like and subscribe. That'll really teach me a lesson. But remember, the most important thing to remember here is all of these tips are in-game tips. So you don't have to add like extra devices to your controllers or your arcade sticks or extra gadgets. Everything is in-game and you can do it. So implement it now and you're definitely going to improve. Alright, the very first tip, and honestly I'm so guilty of this, so I have to implement it more as well. We store our supers for too long. Like right now I have 3 bars and I would probably save this for the 3rd round, just like many of us, because we want to hit off, you know, a level 3 combo like this and do big damage. But I'm telling you, I've played so many games where I've tried to hoard my supers and 4 or 5 games will pass and I've lost all 5 and I didn't land a single super because I was trying to get the level 3 off the entire time. But in the reverse, the person that's beating me is using their level 1s and level 2s as much as they can. And that's the main tip. Use all of your supers, your level 1s and your level 2s. And just to show you some examples of what I mean, let's just take Terry over here. A basic punish that he does is the power charge, crack shoot into the rising tackle. If it's optimized and you hit all 3 hits, it does over 2500 damage. Not bad for meterless. Another option people do meterless is they'll go into the burning knuckle like that. 2160 again, not bad because it's going to send you flying. But the thing is, if you just implement your level 1 into this, for example, something like this, I got all 3 hits here. This is going to do over 3000 damage, so 3100 damage, 31% of their health. And that's a ton of damage that, you know, we're not really doing because we're trying to save our level 3s for the final round. But in my opinion, the most underused supers in this game are level 2s. We don't use level 2s enough, in my opinion, in general. Some characters do have better level 2s than level 3s. So I'm talking about Rashid or Ed. You know, we've seen those a million times. We know why they use them. But a lot of times, a lot of level 2s have utilities like, you know, JP can be super annoying with his. E Honda can go through fireballs with his. They have a lot of use cases. But I'm only focusing on damage over here, and level 2s do a ton of damage. Like even without doing any hard input here, if I just cancel this crouch fierce into the level 2, the basic version already does 3400 damage. So a ton of their health bar is gone just like that. And you know, Terry's lucky that he can get more damage if he, you know, blows resources with his drive bar, but 2 drive bars, or 3 drive bars, sorry, takes it into 40% of your opponent's health bar. So we really shouldn't be leaving any of that damage on the table. And level 2s, they can be great punishers as well. Like you don't have to always rely on your level 3 to do big damage. Like just a basic combo like this is already at 4500. And there's further conversion that you can do off of this as well. You know, if your execution is on point, unlike mine. So crack shoot into a rising tackle, 50% right there. Instead of saving it for round 3, I can do it in different situations and hopefully win the game. And that's the big thing. You have to close out the rounds, because if you leave your opponent with even a pixel of health, we've all been there. We know they're going to make that comeback and it's not going to feel good. And the biggest thing to remember to not hoard supers is that it's so easy to build supers in this game. Like I've built a full level 3 in 1 round before. Both me and my opponent have done that. So as you can see in the bottom, we're both at 0 bars. If I just do basic attacks to Akuma just to get him to as low health as possible, I'm building tons of bar right now, and so is he from just getting hit. I have over a bar and he has almost 1 super bar. Ideally, you know, he'll be attacking me. We're going to be parrying things. We're going to be, you know, doing fireball clashes and whatnot. You're going to build level 1s and level 2s, you know, in a round, no problem. So use those resources, because once you're just hoarding a level 3, you're actually getting diminishing returns in your other rounds. So to conclude, remember, there's a massive difference between this and this, and I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Another thing a lot of us are guilty of, we don't cash out all of our drive resources. So obviously drive bar is used for OD moves, you know, drive impact, drive rush, etc. But it's also very important for ending rounds and combos. So let's just say my opponent whipped a DP. There's so many times I just hit him with a combo like this because I don't even think about using all the resources that I have in hand. And this still does pretty good damage for, you know, punish counter combo. 50% with no bar. you know, not bad. But let's just say I added one more bar's worth of, you know, combo into it. It starts off at 3,300 before the level 3, and obviously level 3 scale differently. It's going to actually do a lot more damage. Now I'm doing 53% of the opponent's health bar, and so on. Let's just say I wanted to, you know, go for broke and use everything that I had. Just very difficult combo, sarcasm. It starts off at 4,100 damage when the level 3 hits. So this is going to do nearly 6,000 damage, and that is a ton of damage, and that will definitely win you some rounds in some games. I honestly think one of the reasons that we don't want to use our drive bar as much is because we're not used to playing games where you get your drive bar back or you get your resources back at the start of the round. But you know, if you go and Burnout in this game and you finish off your opponent, you're going to get all 6 bars back in the next round. So we have to put that mindset in our head so we can improve. And here's the beautiful thing. You see I have 1 bar of drive at the top. 1 bar is the exact same thing as 3 bars if you're going for a kill, because the game will still let me drive rush after this. So you can still do a very damaging combo with just 1 bar into level 3. So always look for how much bar you have, but just try to go for the kill because you're going to get all those resources back. And then the final tip on this, you really want to know when your opponent's in yellow bar health. So you see at the top, he's still in blue. Once he's in yellow, when they have their own critical arts, that's where you really want to extend your combos so you can get them into this yellow bar, because level 3s in this game are not scaled as much as other moves. So your level 3, the lowest it'll ever do is 50% of its base damage. So Ed's does 4,000 off the top. That means if it's heavily scaled, it's going to do 2,000. But when they're in this yellow bar, they're at 20%, so 2,000 health or lower. So even a basic, like super heavily scaled combo like this is going to take them into the yellow bar, which I know is enough for me to pull off this level 3, and it should give you the win and the kill. And if you're critical art, it's going to do even more damage, so it's going to do around, you know, 2,200, 2,500. So just focus on trying to get them down as much as you can before you hit them with that level 3. Alright, tip number 3, and a very important tip, it's knowing that sometimes burning out your opponent is more important than going for damage. Let's just say, you know, you block a drive impact or you counter it back, and you just go into a standard combo route. It's great, you do 2,700 damage, you go on your way. And you know, if you're going to go for the kill and you can get the kill, obviously you want the damage. But now that you left your opponent with 1, you know, drive bar left, as you remembered in the last tip, you leave them with an option to still hit you with a 50% damage combo. So you have to know when to burn them out, and I'm going to show you some tips of how you can do that. So there's 3 ways that you can impact your opponent's drive bar. The first is supers, so know what each super does. So level 1 does about half a bar of drive damage. So you see DJ's drive bar went down. Level 2 does a bit more than that. It does nearly 1 bar. And level 3 does a bar and a half. So these are combos that you can implement that will burn out your opponent, but know that your level 1s and level 2s are still capable of burning out. A lot of people only focus on level 3. So just to show you an example, let's just say you counter drive impact. If I mash my level 1, I know because it does half a, you know, drive bar of damage, it's going to burn out DJ. But it's important to note that, you know, let's just say you continue the combo, DJ's actually going to start building up his bar again. So if I go into a level 1 combo now, it's not going to burn him out. So that's where you have to be mindful and know, oh, my level 2 actually does, you know, more drive bar damage. So maybe the level 2 will burn him out, like you see over there. You don't always have to rely on the level 3 to burn your opponent out. Then the other option that you can do, and I recommend this one a lot, you just do another drive impact after you've countered them. So in this state, you do it again, and that's always going to burn them out if they have, you know, less than a bar. And I know what you're going to say, and I get it. You don't want to leave all that damage on the table. But in some situations, if you can't go for the kill, it is actually better to burn them out like that. Because in this game, once you're burnt out, we all know you're toothless. Offensively, defensively, you don't have any options. So they're going to have to eat your pressure, the chip damage. A lot of characters, you know, like Terry, they get loops with their crack shoots. You can set them up in checkmate situations where you'll do like a fierce punch canceled into a drive impact, and you're going to, you know, break them against the wall, and there's nothing they can do about that anyways. So there's so many more advantageous spots to you to have them burnt out, but you have to decide, can you get the kill or can you exploit them when they're burnt out? Now the third way you can do it, and a lot of people do this, but it's a bit more inconsistent. You're going to try to get them on their wake up. So let's just say you hit DJ with a standard combo like this, and then you say, hey, they have low drive bar. I'm just going to make them block all this, and they're going to go into burnout eventually. And you can do that. It's a viable strategy, nothing wrong with it, but it is going to cost you some resources depending on how much bar your opponent has left. But let's just say your opponent was a smart player. They're not going to block on wake up, and what's going to happen is you're going to rush them down and they're going to take the hits. And I know you're going to say, like, why are they taking the hits? They're just taking damage. The drive bar in this game is just as important as your health bar, so they want to keep some drive bar available so they can hit you with a Hail Mary punch or an attack that can lead into a level 3. So keep that in mind. Your opponent can also perfect parry on wake up as well, so you have to change up your mix up. But this option is available, making them block on wake up, but it's not the most reliable. Alright, this is a new feature, but it's going to help your game so much. The replay takeover is an absolute godsend. So if you don't know what it is, you're basically able to watch your old replays take over and see where you could improve, and you can actually take control of the characters. The best part is you can actually take control over other people's replays. Like these two people, I don't know who they are, but I'm able to watch the replays and take control. And to me, over here, I can go over to Terry to say, hey, I think I can get more damage off of this combo than he did over here. And then I can go into a situation like this and then play out the scenario. So this feature is amazing. And the best part is you don't have to rely on your replays either. You can find the best replays online. People will share information, and you can create so many different scenarios. And the reason this helps you improve so much is it's a lot like how you get better at games like chess, for example. If you ask most grandmasters in chess, they'll say the #1 way to improve is to do chess tactics, not play games or read chess books, but to play actual situations and scenarios from real life games, and then practicing those puzzles over and over until they become second nature to you when you see them unfold. And that's exactly how replay takeover works. You see a situation and tell yourself, hey, maybe I can do something better in this situation and come up with a better punish. So when I do see it in real time, I know exactly how to react and how to punish. And the best part about replay takeover is you're able to see different scenarios from different players, because these are very hard to implement in training mode when we're playing by ourselves. So to actually have a feature like this where I can say, hey, this guy's doing a lot of burn knuckles, how am I supposed to counter it? Or what's the best way to build meter in this situation? Or how can I get maximum damage? All of that is possible now thanks to replay takeover. And then the final tip I'll give on this, obviously it's very hard to spend a lot of time going through all of these replays. Tell yourself I'm going to review 1 replay or 2 replays a day before I log off, and that way you're going to be able to get a lot of repetition in and then see different types of scenarios that are unfolding. They could be your own game, they can be a game of a pro player, they can be a game of 2 randoms or some of your friends. Just take your time, pick a random replay of a character that you like, and just see the scenario. 1 or 2 games a night, I promise you'll level up like crazy. Alright everyone, that's the video. I hope you found it useful, and I hope it makes you a better player. I have a good feeling that it's going to. And I know a lot of these are going to be hard to implement right away, but remember, what's the rush? Just chip away, work on one thing at a time, implement it into Battle Hub when you're playing on ranked, and if you lose a couple games or you lose a couple rounds, it doesn't matter, because in the long run, it will make you a better player, I promise. And if this doesn't make you a better player, you can dislike and unsubscribe from me, but I don't think that's going to happen. Peace out, everyone.